Gamecast from MSN.
Hi and welcome back to MSN Tech and Gadgets Gamecast. I'm Jane Douglas, your Tech and Gadgets editor, along with Nick Taylor, also Tech and Gadgets editor.
Hello.
And Iain Lee, of course.
Yes.
Take it away, Iain.
Oh, okay. Well, let's mention this at the start and at the end so the kids know that you can get this on iTunes. There was some confusion a few months ago when the feed, I think the technical term is, got knackered, but now it works. So if you can get it from the MSN website, but you can also go to the iTunes and type in Gamecast or Iain Lee or things like that, and it comes up, and you can subscribe to it. I'm never quite sure how the iTunes works, but you can, and it gets delivered to your computer. Is that how, well, I don't know.
That's completely accurate. Completely
Excellent stuff.
Good.
Thanks very much. You can tell I know what I'm talking about. Let's start, as we always start, with what have you been playing this month, Nick?
Me, I've been playing Silent Hill Homecoming.
Is that the new one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any good?
It's been out in the States a little while. It's only just come out.
Speak into the microphone, Nick. The kids want to hear you. Come on now.
They
love your sexy voice. Don't forget that.
Iain, you know full well that everybody loves your voice, but we'll get onto that later. Yeah, it just come out a few weeks ago. Spooky Silent Hill stuff. But yeah, quite cool. Not
you don't
amazing.
sound convinced, yeah.
Sort of. Well, it's kind of good and sort of okay in equal measure, I would say. There's quite a lot about it which doesn't feel like it's moved on very much.
Right.
Like, I know it's Silent Hill, and the whole thing about Silent Hill is to have lots of fog everywhere.
Yeah.
But wasn't that like an old technique for when graphics couldn't keep up with you seeing into the distance? And
they're still doing the fogging.
It's fog everywhere, yeah. Like, almost when you're indoors, it almost seems like there's fog seeping under the doorway or something. So, I don't know, stuff like that. I just sort of didn't feel that it had really moved on to this generation of consoles.
Is it spooky at all?
Yeah, a bit, yeah. It's creepy,
yeah.
I reckon. Creepy rather than spooky. Like, you don't have tons of stuff coming at you the whole time.
Yeah.
So there is time for the tension to build. And the sound is brilliant. Like, the soundtrack to it, the music is really, really good. And that really ratchets that up.
Is it right? I'm going to say something now that may be slightly controversial. I don't think I've ever been scared by a computer game. Everyone talks about like the Resident Evil when it first came out and Silent Hills, and I don't think I've ever been actually scared by. Not in the same way that I'm scared by a really scary film.
No.
Have you, Jane?
No, I've been scared, but not perhaps as much as by a really good horror film.
I mean, I've jumped if something surprising happens. Oh, blimey, where did that come from? But to actually go, oh, it's scary, and I've tried the whole ambience thing of playing it in a darkened room with it up loud and the surround sound on and all of that. Not this particular game, but various other games. And I don't think I've ever had that scary kind of thing going on.
I think Silent Hill, like the early ones, affected me, so that, if you were in a darkened street like several days later, it kind of came back to you. But
well, that's just weird.
It's my overactive imagination, maybe. But definitely affected me. But I can't remember. Maybe I've just blocked it out.
Okay, well,
I can't remember being terrified at the time.
We do have a forum discussion point, which is the title I've just come up for things we discussed in the forum, which we'll talk about later on. But we'll throw that as well. If you've ever genuinely been scared by a game, then let us know. I don't think any of them are scary. Jane, what have you been playing this month?
Halo Wars, a bit. I haven't really gotten into the multiplayer. I know you have.
Now, you say you played through the single player.
Yes.
I've not even touched that.
Oh, really?
But, online, a lot of the people have been saying it's really short.
It is short.
And it's easy and it's all very linear and you just do it and you're done.
It is pretty linear. It's pretty short. It's not terribly difficult, but then that's because, playing against AI is never as hard as playing against real people. But if you're into Halo, if you liked Halos 1, 2, 3, then it's got a little bit more of that kind of backstory stuff. It's set before, Halo 1, so I kind of played it for that.
Timeline. There is a timeline.
Oh yeah, it's a prequel.
Okay, right.
And
prequel.
the cutscenes are really good, actually. I really like the cutscenes.
Yeah.
So it was kind of worth playing through a short story mode for those alone. There's a bit where, the elites fight the 3 Spartans. So, you've only ever seen 1 before it was Master Chief, and now 3, and I thought that was quite exciting, actually. And then there's Flower for the PlayStation Network. It's a downloadable game called Flower.
Right.
And you play...
Already, the title's put me off.
Flower. And it's not a very gamey kind of title, but you play a breeze with petals on it. It's good.
It's a girls' game.
I don't think it is a girls' game.
Well, a breeze with petals on it.
I think it's an art game more than a girls' game because it's very beautiful and you don't have a point scoring system.
What do you have to do?
You have to
Blow the petals in the wind.
Yeah, you have to pick up more petals.
Oh,
and then
man.
you become more powerful. But it's not.
It's games like
It's
this.
hard to describe it in
games like this are going to be the
regular game
downfall
terms.
of video gaming. Imagine if those were the
I
only
don't know.
games that were available.
But it's nice to
Petals and-
diversify. I think it's like there's never been like the art. The movie world has the equivalent of art house movies, and it's the equivalent of like an art house game. I think
There are,
So-
but have been art house games, isn't there? I mean,
that's true.
Res. Is that my thinking?
Yeah,
Res?
Res.
That was kind of
Yeah, well,
arty.
in the same, well, not in the same way, but aside from the mainstream,
Yes.
something
Okay.
different, and it does look very, very nice, and it's quite relaxing because you play it all with the 6-axis. Mostly, you're just kind of tilting the controller to steer the breeze. It's very zen, very
Nick,
zen.
are you convinced by Flower?
I'll be going and downloading that one straight away.
He's being sarcastic. I've been all month. I've been obsessed. I've not been obsessed with a game for a long time, but Halo Wars. It's invaded my life so much. I'm having dreams about it. If I have a bad game, I dream about where I went wrong. And I had a dream the other night that I was actually physically in the game. I was one of the little soldiers running around and we were getting attacked. It was terrible. And I play it and I don't enjoy it because from the very second it starts, I have this anxious knot in my stomach because it's all about the first 2 minutes decides who's going to win. If I'm playing it online and the first 2 minutes decides who's going to win, I'm not going to reveal my tactics, but let's just say I've got pretty good tactics. But it's just an anxiety knot in my stomach. And I got a pre-release copy, so I was playing it when there were maybe 50 other people playing it, and that was lovely, and it was kind of fairly evenly matched. But now there are, I don't know, 20,000. By the way, I'm about the 8,000th best player in the world. Yeah, I'm in the leaderboard. That's right.
You get a badge for that.
No, you get nothing for it. You just get disappointment when you find that you keep going down. But now there are loads of kids that just come and rush you. So you're there building up your base and getting another base and getting that, upgrading the nuclear reactor and all of that. And then suddenly, 50,000 soldiers come and shoot you. And you're like, well, hang on a minute, that's not...
It's not
fair.
polite.
It's not polite, is it? I don't like rushing. I'm not a fan of rushing. So
Isn't there something in the title of the game that suggests that might happen though? Like the war word.
if you weren't on the other side of that table, I'll give you a slap, young man. Surely it's about building. It's the stealth, and it's about building up and getting the best weapons. Not anyone can just click a button and make 30 infantries and go and charge. Anyone can do that, Nick. And relax. Where should we start? So I've got loads. Okay, I'm going to throw one thing in the mix first of all, just because not for a long time have I been so excited about the future release of a game. Forget your Resident Evil. That's when's that? Is that 17th of March? Have I got that?
13th. I played it. I
played the final
nearly
thing?
finished it last night.
What? Hang on. You got what? What? How has this
Yeah,
worked?
I got a copy on Thursday, like a promo copy.
Right, and my copy is where?
I don't know.
Okay,
Sorry.
let's do the Res Evil chat then. You've played it.
Hmm.
I've heard that there are problems with the control system.
I don't think there are problems. I think
Okay.
maybe people were expecting something that had moved on from Resi 4,
Yeah.
to which it's quite similar in terms of controls. And people are kind of spoiled by the Gears of War kind of handling.
Yeah.
And it's still that kind of run, stop, aim,
You can't
shoot.
aim and run at the same time,
No,
can you?
still like
Okay, yeah.
Resi 4. I can't talk about the plot that much because actually the game came with this list of things you must not talk about.
It's all unbongoed. Fantastic.
It's all embargoed, yeah.
What can you talk about?
What can I talk about? Mostly
from gloating that you
the
got it
stuff that
first.
was in the demo.
Yeah,
For
okay.
one thing, I can't mention character or character and
Can you talk about the two-player?
co-op.
The co-op
Co-op's
thing?
very good.
Yeah.
Co-op. I think probably co-op is the way to play the game.
And did you play the co-op online or with someone at home with you?
I played through it over the weekend.
Yeah.
Nearly finished it, but that's another story.
Wow, that's proper hardcore. Well done.
It's quite short actually, relatively short. But towards the end, there's this. Can I say this? Yeah, there's obviously a very big final boss battle, as you would expect.
Yes.
That's not giving anything
No,
away.
that's nothing there.
And I feel that I spent hours last night trying to beat this guy.
Yeah.
And of course, because it hasn't been out that long, I found one walkthrough and it was not that helpful.
Right.
So I haven't finished it. I'm like 30 seconds away from finishing this
Wow,
game, and I
that's
can't do
really
it.
impressive.
But I think I could do it with a friend.
And then you go and play
Co-op.
Flower to chill out a little bit
Yeah, well,
afterwards.
seriously, I was so mad last night. The AI got killed like 35 minutes into
Yeah.
a single boss fight.
Yeah.
You know, the AI went and ran up to him and got killed.
Stupid.
So,
Hey, there's a whole show in ridiculous AI in games. We'll do that at some
Oh,
point.
yeah, I like that.
But there has been controversy, which I think is incredible, saying that the game is racist. because the zombies are black, but it's set in Africa.
Yes.
So I don't. And the BBFC have come down and said, well, it's not racist. It's the game location. There's no racist overtones in it in the slightest. And it seemed I don't know where this kind of controversy has come from. Whether it's a Daily Mail type, this game is awful type thing, as if they haven't done it yet, they will do certainly. But it
I think it's more of a reaction. I think people perceive there's going to be an attack, and so they get on the defensive, ahead of time. I think there's probably more people defending it than there was originally people attacking it.
Okay,
And
you played. It's not racist, is it? Of course it's not.
no, I think people maybe are uncomfortable with playing this very, very white guy going around and just murdering hundreds and hundreds of Africans. But I think the demo makes it look worse than it is in a way, because the demo is set in this kind of shanty town, and that's all you see, and there's a lot more than that in the game, and also there's kind of cutscenes and plot points that make you realise it's not just about bad African people.
Yes, of course.
But yeah, I think the Daily Mail will probably still get hold of it.
Oh, I can't wait. The Daily Mail have been quite quiet recently over video games. It's about time
There's a good crop coming out. There's Mad World, the really violent Wii game. Resident Evil, they might, be a bit sensitive about.
Well, okay. Well, so Nick, you've not got a copy of it, have you?
Resi, no.
No. Well, we'll talk about that in the next podcast then, shall we? When we've gone to a shop and bought it. But no, the game I was going to, I'm very excited about is the Beatles Rock Band is coming out now. The thing is, I'm a Guitar Hero thing, so I looked at my drum kit today and thought, got to ditch this. This is all going to have to go. The 9th of September this year is the release date they've just announced. I'm a huge Beatles fan, and apparently, this is what I've heard so far, is, well, if you go to the website for it, all it is a shot of a studio, and you can hear the Beatles chattering in the background and tuning up, and that's it. All I've heard, and whether these are true or not, I don't know, is there's a story mode where you start off, I guess, playing like the Cavern Club and doing early rock and roll songs, and you progress through to Let It Be, so you do the whole career mode. They're going to release special instruments that look like the Beatles instruments. You'll get Paul McCartney's Hofner bass. Hopefully, you'll get Ringo's drum kit. It's gonna look stunning. And the great thing about this, and the problem with Guitar Hero and Rock Band, is I don't know half of the songs. So I'm there playing to some awful Ted Nugent song. I have no idea what it is. Thinking we'll get through this, and we'll get to Beat It, or a song that I know, and it's gonna be great. I'll know every single song. I'm genuinely very excited about it. You two don't remember the Beatles, do you? You're too young, for goodness sakes. But it's going to be quite exciting, I think. But it is going to be that thing of junking Guitar Hero, and I can't.
So this is a no-brainer, is it? Just Guitar Hero's going, get Rock Band in there.
This is happening, man. This is definitely happening. There's no shadow of a doubt about that. But I can't justify. I mean, a lot of the living room is taken up with the drum kit already. I can't say, and we're getting another one in as well. Let's have 2 drum kits. So. It's the first time in a long time I've actually, looking on the internet, excited about a game that's coming out, in 6 months' time or something ridiculous. So that'd be kind of cool. Are there any games that you're excited about, looking forward to? Are there any, apart from Resident Evil, are there any huge releases that are coming out?
I am excited about Mad World, actually, that we just mentioned, because I'm really looking forward to seeing that on the Wii. Yeah, and along with House of the Dead Overkill that we spoke about last month, it's for me it's the beginning of a different type of game coming onto the Wii.
The Wii maturing, perhaps. Yeah,
exactly. Where you don't just have to play like sort of cutesy little cartoon characters. Instead, you get to throw people. Darts at them or something onto man-sized dartboards or something.
Oh, fantastic!
Crazy, That
sounds wonderful.
It's gonna be very, very over the top, I think, but it looks like a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
Are they releasing an update of Flower soon? Flower 2.
Flower 2. I don't know about that. BioShock 2.
Yeah,
that'll be good. That's not for a long time. God of War 3, do you see? That looks awesome.
I've not seen that. Is it going to be good?
There's not been that much to look at so far, but it does look like it's going to be good.
There's a game coming out on the Wii, The Conduit, that uses a thing called Wii Speak. Now, I don't know what that is.
It's just the microphone. It's
a
microphone.
Oh, is that it? I thought it was some special...
It sits on your table. It's like a conference call microphone.
Yes, I am aware of this. It's called the Wii Speak, is it?
Yeah,
jeez.
That's the one, But it's kind of cool because the Wii needs that, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, yeah.
Playing Mario Kart on the Wii, how much better would that be if you could actually talk to the people you're playing against?
I haven't played online on the Wii since the very early days when I got it. Have you still got to type in that long code to find people? You can't just type in usernames and things like that?
Yeah, you do, yeah.
See, that's ridiculous.
It's not very user-friendly, is it?
That's a bit silly. Well, The Conjure's coming out in April. I know nothing more about it than it's we speak and you talk to each other, I guess.
Is it that
It's a
espionage
shooter.
one?
No, it's a sci-fi
Shooter, yeah.
Yeah, first person, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, the thing we threw out last month was cutscenes, the best cutscenes, I suppose as well, the worst cutscenes, and also the best and worst endings of video games. I'll start with a cutscene that blew my mind when I first saw it. And I missed the whole kind of SNES generation. I went from BBC Micro to not being into computer games. I was more into drinking beer in pubs, and then discovering the PlayStation, or the Saturn, wasn't it? Saturn and the PlayStation. And thinking, wow, what have happened? The things on the PlayStation that blew my mind was Alien. I think it was Alien. Because the opening scene of that, it was incredible. You know, I'm sure if I look at it now today, it probably doesn't stand the test of time quite so well. But I remember watching it, and I couldn't work out if it was graphics or if it was actually video footage of people running along into a spaceship and doing stuff. It was that exciting. It was that good. And that kind of blew my mind, I think. Are there any that stand out for you as you just seeing them, you're thinking, flipping it, what's happened here? This is... I'm not going to say Left 4 Dead because I'm banned for talking about that this month, so I'll leave that one out. Nick, are there any that have grabbed your fancy?
I think I just thought I always loved the cutscenes in all of the Splinter Cell games.
Yes.
Because they did exactly what cutscenes should do, which was to give you the story without intruding too much on the gameplay. And they just built up this feeling of the whole espionage story that you're involved in.
Now, you say not intruding too much on the gameplay. That Metal Gear Solid...
Yeah.
That just ruins the gameplay, doesn't it? Hey, let's all stop for 5 minutes and watch this nonsense going on.
Yeah.
I think it's badly acted. It looks good, but it's badly acted, ruins the game, slows the game down, and is ultimately quite pointless, really. And I think you're right with the Splinter Cell. It's just long enough that it kind of furthers the story, develops the characters a bit, and just adds to the game, whereas Metal Gear Solid, I think...
And it's very well acted as well, the Splinter Cell stuff. It's, you know, the sort of thing you would expect in a film of that type. So it works all the way. The other side of it, like Metal Gear Solid, is on the DS. I'm playing the latest Advance Wars.
Oh yes,
which is just completely cut up by all these like sort of ridiculous little stories. I mean, it's not a cutscene like on a home console. It's just little scenes, like sort of still images, but it drags on and on. Every time you finish a little mission, you're sat there tapping A, like trying to get through it. Because I don't know about you, but I always feel like I still have to read it all, even though it's annoying.
Oh yeah, you do have to read that, just in case there's some clue as to how you do the next level, or some you don't want to miss out on something. But it is generally badly written, badly translated tosh. Absolutely, yeah. But you can't skip it entirely. So. Jane, are there any?
I was thinking about endings rather than cutscenes.
Oh, okay,
I know we kind of
on.
bundled the two together.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought of a really as far as I'm concerned, it was the ending of the first Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Mega Drive.
No, I never saw this. I never saw the end of this.
It's on YouTube. I found it before we came in here, and you can't call it a cutscene. Really. I don't know if you can class it as a cutscene, from that kind of period. But you save the world, and you're running back through the Green Hill Zone. The very first zone. You're running back, right to left instead of left to right, and all the bunnies and penguins and bluebirds are flying. Because you free them in the course of the game. It's a really exuberant, happy ending, and I was trying to think of endings that I was really pleased to see, and I mean, I think it's an old one but a good one. Yeah, no, that sounds like quite a nice one. Yeah, it's really celebratory, and all you bunnies are just kind of really happy.
If I'm honest, I get bored of games before I complete them. There's very few games. There's a couple of Call of Duties that I've completed, but there's very few games. I still never completed the first Halo because I couldn't. It ends with you in the sort of Jeep. And you've got to do that. There's one jump I could never do. It's this huge jump.
The final.
Yeah. Was that the very final thing?
I think you might be talking about it.
It's this huge jump. Oh, no. I did it once, and then I got shot or something straight away, and I could never do it again. And I spent hours trying to do this one jump to the point where I thought, I'm probably right near the end. Yeah. It don't make much difference, really. I'm just going to leave it.
Watch the final cutscene on
I'll look at it on the internet. Something. Yes, it'll be there somewhere. So I don't really finish games.
Yeah. Well, Halo 3, I guess didn't finish
Halo
it.
3 I finished, but I didn't watch the final cutscene.
You didn't?
Because apparently he comes back alive, doesn't he, or something?
No,
Isn't there a clue that he's alive?
Well, that's 2, I think, maybe. At 3...
I thought that 3, that there's a cutscene, then there's some credits, and someone said, oh, there's another scene after the credits.
I think that you get a slightly different ending if you finish it on the uber hard mode.
Oh, okay.
But either way, it's a bit of a cliffhanger. Do you remember the end of 3?
Halo 3.
Okay,
No.
well, like... You basically you're with Cortana. You're on a ship, and you're in the middle of nowhere. So you're years away from rescue or planet or whatever. And he just goes into like his kind of cryo sleep, and he's like, "Yeah, wake me up when you need me." And that's the end of it. So it's not much closure on that. And I think someone on the message boards actually mentioned it as one of their least favourite endings.
That's just let's set up for a sequel.
A little
isn't
bit.
it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the same with all the Halos, isn't it? It's I never got that far with Halo 2 actually, but from what I've heard from my friends, that there's not really an ending. It's like another one coming up soon. Don't you worry, kids. It's happening.
I thought Halo 3 was meant to be the climax of the whole thing, though. And there's your package. Like,
It was Axion741 said. I don't think I'm alone in saying that Halo 3's ending was quite pathetic. The ending to the story is just so disappointing for everyone who fought through all the 3 games to get there, especially on Legendary or the dreaded Mythic Legendary mode. So I think that the difference is that you're shown approaching a planet if you finish it on extra hard, which, like you say, is the setup for, I don't know,
Give
a
me
possible
strength.
sequel.
It's a good game, actually. I've not played Halo 3 for a while. I might have a little Halo 3 session.
Oh, you noticed the billionth live match was like last week or something.
Is that a billion live
matches,
games? That's obscene. Do you know, it's probably my mate Steve, to be honest. He's had most of them, I think. That is quite incredible. I'm sure there's a little bit of fluff and powder in that, you know.
Maybe a few 10-second matches.
But a billion.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's awesome. I haven't got it to hand, but there's a figure for how many years that amounts to, of playtime.
Oh, yeah.
Solid playtime.
And they know who it is as well, don't they? They've got the names.
Who
I meant to write it down.
The gamer tags of the billionth match players.
That's quite exciting. Do they get anything?
Nice.
Do they get...
I don't think so. They should. Maybe they do. Maybe they get special achievement or something. That'd be nice.
Because Halo's got... I hosted the launch of Halo 3 at the IMAX cinema in London, and they were throwing money at that like nobody's business. It was a weird night. They had a young rap artist. What was his name? Pharrell Jones or Pharrell Williams or something? I don't know. We didn't know. And they were paying him a lot of money. He'd never played the game before in his life.
I heard about that,
He'd never played. It was wonderful, It was wonderful. And he actually sat there holding the controller upside down and went, Pharrell, you've got to turn the controller around like that. It was wonderful. Fair play to him. He took the money and why not, But yes, you think for the billionth game, they would chuck...
Maybe they did. I'll check it out later, but I don't remember hearing about it.
Xbox or
a Master Chief helmet or something.
Yeah. Must have loads of that tat knocking about.
There are some great endings. There's a famous ending of Ghosts and Goblins. The platform game which is
funny.
It's brilliant. Well. Congratulations! This story is happy end. Brilliant Janglish. That messed up Japanese congratulations. I had a friend of mine from in Japan who, when I told her I was engaged, wrote to me congratulations, which is fantastic. But it is one of the toughest games in the world. The last level is almost impossible, and that's what you get at the end of it.
And then it sends you back to the beginning to start again.
Yeah, a little bit faster, I think. And it's a lot of I think I mentioned this before. A lot of the old games do that. Hypersports on the Commodore 64 that I was playing quite recently with a friend of mine. You do it. You complete all the sports and you get past the skeet shooting and the archery, which is the hardest, and the triple jump is the hardest actually. And then, basically, to qualify for each to the next game, you have to beat the world record or something, and you complete it, and it sends you back to the start with even higher records to beat. So it just becomes pointless.
It's basically a vicious circle that you're trapped in forever, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can never complete this game.
And one game that was absolute tosh, and I did play it to the end, and the ending was awful. I may have mentioned this before. Fear. What a waste of my life that was. I want those, 15 hours back. Just rubbish. I'm actually quite angry about it because it was an all right game, and I thought, well, I'll complete it because it's quite straightforward. I'll be able to do this. And then it ended, and I went, up yours, Fear. You have wasted.
That's because of the very ending bit.
Yeah,
where it's like you think you've won, and no, you haven't.
I know. I won, and then you get back in a helicopter or something. It flies off, and you think, oh, brilliant, flying off.
Yeah.
And then a hand comes up, the girl's hand comes up, and then it ends.
But I'd argue that's kind of. I think they were trying to emulate that horror movie thing. You get in a lot of horror films.
Emulate that.
Yeah. Like the
I just made a rude gesture. I do apologise.
Was it Dawn of the Dead?
I know. Yes, I know.
Yeah, where you think they're safe and they're not. Everyone's dead, and it is frustrating.
When you've invested that much time and that much thought into it, with the film, it's exciting. It's like, oh,
yeah.
But when you've put that much work into it, it's like, no, that isn't good enough. I don't think that is disappointing.
It's the whole set up the sequel thing again, though, isn't it? Because now we have Fear 2. There you go. It's like,
sorry, I got very really all over. I do apologise. What have they been saying on the forums about this?
The Trickster says possibly my favourite cutscene is from Silent Hill 2. I think it's the first time when you meet Pyramid Head, and I can't remember it, to be honest, but it does sound very spooky the way the Trickster describes it. The worst cutscene, easily anything from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, God, just
controversially. They look absolutely awful, and the music's just as bad. Sorry to anyone who enjoyed the game, but I didn't. Super Hands. Oh, Ian, your voice. Well, what can I say? Very nice.
Well, thank you. This is because last month I was very upset that you two were getting all the compliments about the voice. It sounds a little bit huskier today. I'm full of cold, so I think it might be working for the ladies.
Yeah. Oh, he says he also fell for the GTA guide, so...
Yeah, that was... we had to... Yeah, we're selling Grand Theft Auto 4, but you got to buy this book for 16 quid as well. Okay, I'll do that, yes.
Superhands also says, I've just started playing World of Warcraft, any advice? And I know you're not the guy...
No, you're the... Well, you know, you're the World of Warcraft expert, so what...
hardly. Well, any advice? I mean, maybe don't get involved if you want to save... No, I'm not saying that as someone who really likes the game. Any advice? I suppose it would be about, like, which class he picks and which race he picks, but then that's down
You want to be like a magic person, don't you?
I would, but then Rogue is quite popular. Rogue is just backstabbing.
You want to do magic. You want like
Mage,
lights to come out of your fingers, don't you? That's what you... Yeah. The more we talk about World of Warcraft, the more I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe it's time.
Yeah, maybe it's time.
I got back onto a PC-based multiplayer kind of game, because I did used to be well into EverQuest. At the same time I was into Command & Conquer. EverQuest, when it kind of was still quite new. It'd been out for a while, I think. I was obsessed with that, you know, and killing rats and getting my
pay
HP
for free
up.
for I think the first week or something.
Yeah, very much so. But then I'd always go. I'd join a party. I remember you had to go on boat trips, so there's a lot of time spent on a boat.
You have to travel between continents on a boat.
And I would upset the party to the point where they'd actually ask me to leave, and I'd sort of hang out and attack them, and then they'd attack me, and it was all...
You'd attack them?
I think I did, or I started attacking the enemies before they were ready, or something like that.
That makes sense.
I mean, hey, this is like about 8 or 9 years ago, so I don't really remember. And to the point where they would just... could they resuscitate you or something? Anyway, they would leave me alone.
It didn't work out for you.
It didn't work out. No, I was as obnoxious in that as I am. But World of Warcraft, and I did. We'll come back to the forums in a second, because I do. I know there've been a couple of complaints. We've not mentioned PC games.
Not a lot.
The reason is because I don't play them. Nick, do you play PC games at all?
I tend to steer clear of them, really, just because I like sitting on my sofa to play games. I don't like sitting at a desk.
Yeah.
If I had a real, like, sort of mad gaming laptop, then maybe I would. But
you
been at work.
You do play them.
I do. I used to a lot more, but then my PC kind of fell behind, and I'm not really enthused about upgrading it all the time.
Yeah.
And you can't play the latest game, and it doesn't look as good as it should.
Yeah.
And also those multi-format stuff, like Far Cry 2, probably but look better on a really nice PC.
Yeah.
But if I can play it on a console, and like Nick says, sit on the sofa and play it, then I will. That said, we had Empire Total War it just came out, and I wouldn't mind a PC I could play that on, but I don't think it'd run on my machine, to be honest.
I think the main thing that PC gaming appeals to me for as well is playing live stuff.
Yeah.
It's just that, you've got all these dedicated servers, you can have massive battles. Say you're in a good shooter, you can have like 64 people battles going on.
And consoles like both, like we can have 8 people in a match. You're like...
It is a huge difference, isn't it? And it's I'm kind of, I don't know if my laptop is up to anything. It's kind of not brilliant. I did try with that Conan
Age of
game.
Conan.
It was absolute tosh. What a waste of download that was. It did like 7 hours to download.
Too,
awful, wasn't it? Yeah. Hey, listen, if anyone's got any suggestions of PC games that maybe I could get into, just to dip my toe back into that water again, then post it on the forum, please.
Pritstick says RE Commodore 64 games, because I think we were talking about those last time. You can get several C64 games on the Wii's Virtual Console. They go for 500 Wii points each, which is about 350. So there you go.
Fantastic! Yeah. I will check that out then. Yeah, excellent work. Thank you.
Bricker Boy says, I think the Tomb Raider cutscenes were the best. They're always compelling and stuck to the story.
The first Tomb Raider, they were brilliant actually. And again, graphically probably don't really look so hot today,
No,
but
no.
superb at the time, just very exciting.
I think those were the ones that really blew me away first,
Yeah.
actually, coming back to what you were saying, because me and my mate just spent hours and hours playing through Tomb Raider. It was so striking when it first came out.
For the first time, what a great game that was. It was like, so exciting that video games had evolved to this point. And just, hours around mates' houses, or then playing it separately and storing it on memory cards. Oh, man.
Towards the end of Tomb Raider, when you're in that kind of fleshy pyramid,
Yeah.
and that was amazing. Like,
Yeah,
that was good.
great, yeah.
Oh, when you come into this cavern and there's a Sphinx there,
Yeah.
and it's made of like 3 polygons. Like if you went back now, it'd look terrible, but in my mind, it was epic. So.
Oh, yeah. the golden age of video gaming, perhaps, I think.
Possibly.
When did Tomb Raider come out? That was...
12 years ago, right?
Was it 12 years ago?
I think they did an anniversary. Oh yeah, Tomb Raider anniversary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course they
so
did. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it was 12.
That'd be right, yeah, 97.
Yeah.
97.
I would say the golden age of video games. Dispute me if you think I'm wrong.
Please do. David Lowe says, I think that the Resi 4 ending is the worst because all it is then in the sea. I know what he's getting at.
I'm glad you did.
know what he's getting at.
I didn't complete Resident Evil 4.
At the end of Resi 4, I don't think it's a spoiler because I think, if you're going to play it, you've played it by now.
Yeah.
You get on a jet ski with the president's daughter,
Right.
who you've rescued,
Oh,
the
of
little
course, yeah,
girl,
yeah, yeah.
and then you just ride off into the sea. I
And that's
suppose,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've saved the day, but it's not a really satisfying ending because you're just jet skiing off. So
I'm going to name drop now. I don't do it very often, but I was doing something with Bob Mortimer from Vic and Bob a while ago. And out of nowhere, he said, "You're into video games, aren't you, Ian?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "This Resident Evil 4, how do you finish?" And he's obsessed with Resident Evil. And he's phoned me up since, and he's completed Resi 4. And he keeps saying, when's 5 coming out? Is 5 coming out? He's obsessed with it. And I keep saying, well, if you like that, you might like this game. I kept suggesting games, and he'd get them, and he'd say, "No, I like games where you've got to be selective, where you can only carry certain things, and you can upgrade your weapons, but then you've got to store things, and then you go around shooting monsters." So he's very specific.
that's very specific.
I know it's a very specific requirement. You've got to store. You have to store things
Store things.
somewhere,
That's what I like in a game.
and then upgrade. So I should give him.
Well, here,
one.
like 5, then there's inventory management. You've got very small, like 3x3 slots, so 9 places to put in the
Yeah.
inventory, and they don't have. You remember you used to have the chest, the typewriter.
Yes, yeah,
room.
yeah.
You don't really have that, but
See,
it's
that
a similar
frustrates
kind
me.
of
I kind of
system,
like
yeah.
you pick it up, you carry it, and that's all groovy. But I shall remind him that 5 is coming out soon because he'll be very excited about that.
Resident Evil must be about the only game where you have to save up for a briefcase, isn't it, really? Has that ever come into any other game?
But, yeah.
I don't, well, again, on the forums, let us know. I like the fact that in games that you can only carry a certain amount of ammo, and that's your limit, and that's fine. That's based on truth. But oh no, let me just pick it up. I don't want to go back and get it later. Come on, let's just move forwards.
Right. What else we got?
They've been very busy on the forums this
Yeah,
month, by the way.
thanks
Thank you
for
very
that.
much. It's much appreciated. It makes our job easier, and also it's very nice to hear what you have to say as well. So
Yeah.
do
Any
keep
first-time
posting.
commenters want to get involved? It's tech.uk.msn.com. And just go to the message board. Right, Ike Docs says Prince of Persia should have been in more BAFTA categories. Oh, and Ian must play Call of Duty 5 for the Nazi zombie mode.
Yes, this sounds brilliant. The Nazi
Yeah.
zombie mode. I'm up for a bit of that. Yeah, definitely. We'll have some of that.
Cole 500 says, I hate the ending on Fallout 3 so much. I completed all of it in the side missions, and you die or you send some woman to her death, and that is true. That is kind of how it ends, doesn't it? So
You just
it's a
missed
bit of a downer.
You just missed David Lowe, Big Gamer Has No Friends.
Sorry.
This is a message.
Go ahead.
Wow, if anyone... The reason no talk about the other one is because he talked about his girlfriend.
But I don't really understand what that means, is the why I didn't
That's a
read it
message.
out.
Thank you very much for that. It's all appreciated. Evil Snufkin, worst game ending ever. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. You spend all that time saving the world, only to get the reward of being sent back in time, so that nothing you did actually happened. That sounds all right to me. I suspect that's how Lost is going to end up. But
I can imagine that being fairly frustrating, to be honest, to get to the end like that. But there you go. There's a comment here from Sporos, going back to your voice, Ian.
Oh, yes,
and
come on.
you, Sir Ian, are the voice of God.
Well, there we go, Sporos. It's a foolish name, but you speak a lot of truth. Congratulations.
And I think there's got to be a gold star as well for Sam Reed and Unnamed Seven, both of whom last month listened to all of the previous podcasts.
Oh, yeah, this is
in
crazy.
one day.
That's insane. Why
Thanks,
would you put
guys.
yourself through that? I mean, well done, but, and they
That's
enjoyed
a
it,
fine
they said as well,
achievement.
didn't they? They,
Well,
I
yeah.
hope so.
they're
That's a lot of time.
alive to tell the tale, which
Yeah,
is...
a solid 8 hours of listening.
Listen, thank you very much. Keep posting your stuff for us. Now, you've brought in, Jane, you've brought in a grotty, dirty,
It's my old white DS
DS there, which is filthy.
It's a bit yellow now.
Well done. What game is in there at the moment? We've got Puzzle
Quest.
Puzzle Quest.
It's good.
Okay. And now we've got the snazzy, new, sleek... Is it thinner?
It is thinner.
It's a little bit thinner. This is the new... Now, tell us about this new DS.
Sure. Well, I think it would be better with video, because you can't see what I'm holding here. But there's no GBA slot. You've got an SD slot instead.
Let's go. Okay, so there's no GBA slot.
No.
You're saying that's because it's being sold to particularly young people who don't know what a GBA is. I think that's a little bit silly, though. It wouldn't have cost them anything.
No, but I think in order to make it thinner and to put the SD card slot in there, I don't know if there's room.
Okay, so what does the SD card slot allow? That allows photos and
music. You could put
things.
music on it and use it as a music player.
Right.
Apparently, they've improved the sound quality on it.
Right.
So, I mean,
You're not going to carry that around as you know,
as a music.
your iPad.
But I mean, if you've already got
it.
it, then you could, use it as a music player.
Surely the SD card slot, and obviously I'm not condoning this in any way, but means it would be easier to hack it, wouldn't it? And do...
pirate games.
Yeah, pirate games and things. I know it's possible on the DS anyway. But is that not a concern for Nintendo?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
I would really skip the SD card slot personally.
Right.
It doesn't. For me, it doesn't sell the DSi to me in a big way that
Yeah.
you can play music on it and look
No.
at photos on it, because I've got other devices to do that, and I would imagine most people do.
I have a
Most people
camera and a
don't.
Walkman. Those
I think
Yeah.
because the big thing that we've skipped over first of all is that it's got two cameras on it. It's got one camera inside on the hinge and one camera outside on the lid, so you can take photo of yourself looking inwards or other people looking outwards.
Yeah.
And then of course you can save those photos to the SD card and put it on your computer and print them or send them over email.
Well,
or
so you can take a
something like that.
picture of you playing DS.
If you
Is
so
it just for
desired.
that, or because is it possible that this camera here inside is at some point? Oh, it's making noise.
Yeah, it's got this new menu screen that looks a bit like the Wii menu. I think it's got that kind of music.
But this camera at some point is going to allow chat with someone on another DS. Is that video chat? Is
That would be fab.
possible?
I'm not sure
beyond the
about
realms of
that.
possibility,
No,
is it?
it's possible. It's got a wireless connection and it's got a camera. So
I think the main
don't know if the
reason it's
hardware's up
there at
to
the
it.
moment is to interact with games. It's
Yeah.
another control possibility. So
Yeah.
you're meant
So like
to
an
leap
iToy
about
type
and
game,
wave at it.
maybe.
I wouldn't be. I tell you what, this is my prediction. Give it 6 months. There's going to be in-game video chat, or it's going to be like a mobile kind of chitty chatty
That would be awesome.
device.
We'll see if it's up
You
to it.
don't believe me, do you? You're making the noise like he's talking.
I'm being hesitant. I would love to see it, but I just wonder if it's up to the task. If it can. We'll see. I'd love to see that it did. What else has it got? You can take photos and then you can kind of mess around with them. It's quite a Japanese type thing. They have those sticker boos and you kind of distort your photos.
Fantastic.
It's a little bit like that because
Yeah.
you take a photo and you can make your face smile. And
Nick's shaking his head. Go on.
I'm
You're not
confused.
up to
Sticker
that.
boos?
Sticker
Oh,
boos.
sticker booths are brilliant, man. When we went to Japan, me and my girlfriend, we just spent all our time in sticker booths. You go in, and you, it's like green screen, so you can be like you can be sitting on top of an aeroplane. We've got loads in our flat. It's us sitting on top of an aeroplane, us in all these rubbish poses, and then it takes the pictures, and then you go out round the side. And bearing in mind, this is all in Japanese, so we were kind of guessing, and you can doctor the pictures by putting like little flowers. I'm sounding like Jane did earlier. We still about that game. Anyway, you can put like flowers and little Japanese symbols and stuff on it, and then it prints them off. And they can either have stickers or glossy pictures. And I'll bring some glossy pictures in next week of me and my girlfriend. It's just the most ridiculous fun. But some of those places in Japan, sorry, going off on a tangent, well, they have the sticker booth. It's girls only. And
you can wear costumes and stuff, right? I've heard about
You can get
these.
costumes, yeah,
You
you
can
can do
actually
that,
dress up and get your photo taken. It's like a popular activity.
But I got kicked out of one because it's girls. One of them was girls only, and the woman was like, "No, out!" And it's all, like giggling 14-year-old girls, and me and my missus.
Were you aware of that before you went in? Or?
No, not that one. A lot of them are quite unisex, but it is mainly girls in there. So we're in there. It was
Great fun.
Yes, it was great fun. It was good fun. And is this out now? This DS is this?
It's out early April.
Early April.
So nearly. But I think we were saying before it's more of a side grade than an upgrade. I think lots of people are going to stick with their DS Lite, and maybe people who are buying new DSs for the first time are going to go for the DSi.
I've been thinking. I'll
They're
say this
gonna
very
have to.
quickly. Maybe we'll talk about this next month because I guess we're running out of time. I've been thinking about maybe not junking them, but putting some of my consoles in storage. Because I haven't played my PS3 for a long time. I know everyone says I'm an Xbox fanboy. It's what I like playing, I haven't played that for a long time. And I might The Wii, I'm thinking, I haven't really played it for a long time. Now I know there's Commodore games available, I might have some, but it's all the Xbox at the moment, so I don't know, that's a debate for another day. Nick, what are we asking them, what's our forum discussion point this month? You came up with something good.
Yeah, we'd like some opinions on the hardest game you've ever played. Either a game that was just ridiculously hard and therefore annoying, or one that was just really, really difficult but gave you an enormous sense of achievement to get through it to the end. So let us know on the forums.
Funny you mention this, because one game I was thinking about was a game that I played but didn't get very far on, Airwolf on the Commodore 64, which and it was on the Spectrum, I think, but I only kind of flirted with in my youth because I didn't have those machines, and it was really hard. And I was looking it up on the internet this week, and there is a rumour that it's actually impossible to complete, that the coders couldn't be bothered to write an ending, so they just put a thing in it where you can't actually, it's so hard you can't get past it. It looks like you can, but you can't, and it's just ridiculously impossible. So I'll throw that in the arena as the first one. But yes, we'll have a thing like that. So the hardest games out there.
I think Ghosts and Goblins would be in that there as well, that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, it's stupid, but brilliant. You know, now the thing with that is a hard game, but you keep going back for more, don't you? You know, you keep putting that 10 pence in. That's how old I am, and having another go at it. So it's yeah, okay, we'll put that out. What's the forum address one more time, Jane?
It's tech.uk.msn.com, click on message board, or click on podcasts, and then we'll have a link through.
And don't forget, of course, you can subscribe to this on the iTunes. So type in Gamecast, type in Ian Lee in Games or anything like that, and it will MSN Gamecast, it will come up, subscribe, and it will be delivered to your memory box on your computer. I'll shut up now. Thank you.
Well, that's it for now. Thanks very much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time on Gamecast. Bye.
Ta-ta.
Bye.
Gamecast from MSN.
Produced by theboyinthecorner.co.uk.